Hey, everybody. Welcome to Everything Philly podcast, your platform for information and entertainment hitting hard topics. I'm Sharice.
I'm Lil Rob, and our special guest today is
Brianna.
Maurice.
Cameron.
Kieran.
Name.
Today's topic, we're going to touch on daddy issues. So I'm going to kick it off with me. I'm going to tell you where I came up with this topic from. As of today, it's just been 5 years. 5 years and 1 week I've been home. I've been away for 18 years. And 18 years away in prison is a time to have self-reflection, to see everything went wrong in your life, where you made mistakes, where you could have improved, the whole 9 yards. And one thing I realized is that being a parent isn't easy. Being a parent, there's no written book for how to be a parent. Being a parent is, in the beginning, before you get to that maturity level, is a bunch of selfish acts where you're doing stuff only for your benefit, thinking it's for, you think you're doing it for your family and everything else, but really it's all about you because you never take the time to see where your kids is at, what inspires them, what pushes them, where their fun level is at, where their hobbies is at. It's all about you growing up, how you grew up, what you want for your kids, how you want your kids to be. So it's like you're living your life through your kids. So you don't even see all the things that's going wrong until you get to that point where your kids is grown and you start saying, well, why this kid like that? Why this kid is like that? What happened to them? What happened to them? And it's really your problem. It's your issues that you set on them. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Because this is my niece, my son, and my son. My kings and my little queen. And coming home, it was like, Dad, you can't tell me nothing no more. I'm grown. Uncle Rob, you can't tell me nothing. I'm grown. And I thought it was going to be peaches and cream, thinking everything was going to be okay. We back to being a family. I couldn't wait for this moment. I thought I was going to be away for the rest of my life. And it's going to be all love when I get home. Boy, did I get hit with a blow, a hard one. So we're going to sit here and talk about things now and see where things go wrong with the family. Because it's not just our family. It's all families. It's all men that grow up from my generation, the generation before me, the generation before them. It's like we all grew up crabs in the barrel. We always wanted more. And majority of us came from the ghetto, came from the hood. Whereas though wanting more was nothing but getting into illegal activities because nothing wasn't handed down to us. We wasn't born with silver spoons. Jobs wasn't easy for us. Careers wasn't easy for us. So we had to take the bottom of the barrel, working at McDonald's, being laborers for whatever the case may be. So when you see your parents grow up like that, you be like, I'm not growing up like them. I want more. 9 times out of 10 is some kind of mischief behavior, selling drugs, robbing, stealing, whatever it takes to get a couple dollars extra so you ain't got to see your mom struggling. Because I ain't going to say majority, I don't even know the numbers on it, but a lot of us grew up in single homes, single parent homes where the mother had to do majority of the work because the dad was out there trying to hustle up a dollar. So I'm ready to hear where I went wrong at. I know where I went wrong at. I wanted to do materialistic stuff instead of the things that really mattered.
I have a question.
I'm listening.
So we're talking about daddy issues, and I'd like to know what are daddy issues?
Daddy issues is where there's a problem in a home and everybody know what the problem is, but they don't see the problem. Like we all understand what life is about. I can't even sit here and say that because you really don't know what life is about until you hit a point where you want more, and it's not just words, it's actions. But daddy issues come in 1,000 different forms. Anywhere you don't have, go ahead, I'm listening.
You think we got daddy issues?
I I think everybody got daddy issues.
Like us right here?
Yeah, I think y'all got daddy issues
In
too.
the same way or different?
Pick up your mic and talk to me.
In the same way or different? Do you think it applies to each one of us different?
No, I think everybody got their own issue.
Out of all of them, like who you feel like got it the most?
See, that's not a question.
I don't know. I think to an extent, all of them is to the extreme because it's so bad. Whereas though there's no conversation. There's let's fix it, but there's no deep conversation because everybody still want to be a man. Everybody still want to be a woman. They still want to be grown. So they don't want to talk. Whereas though what makes them weak or whatever the case may be is like everybody's still hard. Like, yeah, I grew up this way without you. You wasn't here. So I had to do it my way. I had to learn how to do things my way. And that's a daddy issue within itself because you're looking at someone else. You're not actually pointing a finger blaming, but you really are blaming. Do that make sense?
I say preach.
Huh?
I say preach.
So that
I feel like you are
You say no?
explaining daddy issues as the dad, where it affects the children differently. Like you can see where you went wrong and affected your children, but with children, we a lot of times are in denial or we don't realize that we have daddy issues or issues until we are deep in it and realize, like, have to really think, okay, where is this coming from?
And that's true. And that's the whole point of the conversation. It's not a one-sided thing. It's coming from both sides. It's getting opinions from everybody. So it's not only, like I said, us 6 people sitting here or in front of the TV that's talking about it. This affects families that don't even, when you hear people say, I hear a lot of guys sit here and say, man, fuck my dad. He ain't do nothing for me. I never knew him in my life. He ain't never been there for me. That's a daddy issue. You understand what I'm saying? That's a daddy issue.
But you can't help someone who's in denial.
No, you only can try to bring light to them. You can't help them unless they really want to be helped. Some people like to be in health because in denial because they don't have to take on responsibility.
Do y'all want help?
Do you have daddy issues?
Oh, I need help bad, but I'm asking y'all. I'm not in denial.
You're not in denial.
Mm-mm.
So you know what your problem is?
Mhm.
And what's your problem?
The list?
Start it off.
I feel like, especially like a lot of young women face this, but I didn't know until the things that I was describing in a guy was key factors that like your dad do for you. So like approval and like just like attention, being taken care of in ways that like not a spouse, but like a father would take care of me is the type of like non-sexual turn-ons that I have. So it's like, why is that something that I'm looking for in a guy? That's something that I should be looking for in my father. But it's too late.
It's never
in
too
my
late.
eyes.
It's never too late.
You think somebody that grew up with a father figure can have daddy issues still?
Definitely.
How?
I grew
Because
up in the house with my dad, so
because he may have grew up with daddy issues. So he's only teaching you what he knows from what he learned from his dad. Do that make sense?
No.
Okay, let me use this as example. Maurice, you have 3 daughters. The way that I raised my kids, do you think you see anything similar in the way you're raising your kids? Do you think you're a perfect dad at this point? Lift the point, Micah.
I think it's basically like mirror for real. The things that you did with us, I took that and I ran with it because I always thought that the mom was, in my eyes, what was instilled in me, because this is what I've seen time and time again. The mom was always supposed to be the not the sole provider, but with you having so many children and you not having them one-on-one, you had your kids, certain kids, for permanent time periods, but at most it was always a female that was around that was doing the day in, day outs as far as a mother, which you was just the provider or the fun maker. So that's what came down to me and my kids. I think that every time I get my kids, we can't just chill in the house and just watch TV. We have to go and do something. We got to go to Funplex. We got to go to Clemson Park, Six Flags. That's what it came from you. Activity, man. Yeah.
So that answers the question. So even though you could be in the house, like if you don't know no better, you can't teach no better. Like we are product of our environment. No matter what it is, kids learn at a very young age where you don't even think they're learning. They soaking up everything, and everything they see, everything they hear, they're taking it in. That's making them become who they are. So if our environment is messed up from the beginning, then that kid is going to be messed up until that kid is put in a different environment to know different than what they've been seeing all their life.
To go back to your question, when you said, do you feel like you can have
I don't think that being a father, like if that's how a father want to parent, I don't see nothing really wrong with it because I have childhood memories that I'll probably never forget. Like certain times that we was at hotels and stuff like that, just because our family is so big. I had so many brothers and sisters that we didn't really get that one-on-one time. I get siblings have the same mom, same dad, they're in the same household. So with me and my siblings, when we were all come together, those memories are something that I cherish because that's times that I spent with my brothers and sisters. Don't get me wrong, I do think that the mom in my head will always be, I don't know, that's just how it is in my head.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. There's
It's not.
nothing wrong with having that, but it still have to be
A balance.
a balance. Like there's really no responsibility when everything that's put in front from me to you is activities, fun. That means you're going to grow up thinking you need money to do everything. Money is the key to happiness, to success. Everything that we did was revolved around money. I didn't sit down and really get into responsibility, maturity, um, everything. Like everything there is to become a
I think you
man.
did.
Not really.
I think it's certain stuff that you probably didn't realize what you was doing when it come down to money and responsibilities. Like I remember back when I was a kid, we used to do stuff like simple as play Monopoly or like even gamble in the house or stuff like that. It gave me money was a very much important thing, and I wouldn't change that even if I could today.
No, that was really teaching you numbers because I'm a number guy. So I was just giving you what I had. But there's still so much more to life than just that. You understand? It's still a lot more.
If you want to be fair, that's not just a harsh upbringing because even before your time, before whoever time, I feel like it's always been the woman was the person that took care of home and the man was supposed to take care of his family. So even if you put it like that, if the man is out working all day and all he could do is come home and provide nothing but joy and happiness to his kids, then it's the same thing.
It really is not.
It really is.
It depends on what that man's coming home, what that man is teaching when he come home. It depends on what's being
paying
taught.
the bills, paying the lights, paying the rent, and having fun with his kids and going back out and working and doing the same thing over and over and over again. He's a provider.
But are you saying that just because you're doing all that, it eliminates the daddy issues? Like that's good enough?
The mom is the emotional support.
So, but in my and that's how you guys grew up. But I grew up. My mom was paying the child support. My dad was taking care of the kids. So I don't have the same look on parenthood as you guys do. Like
It's still kind of the same thing. You still have one parent. But 9 times out of 10, if it's the
he said
mom,
it's always the female. Like the female is the at home.
It's like emotional.
you got to talk in the mic when you're speaking, bro.
It's like emotional, and then it's like a provider. Your mom was. I'm not saying your dad, but your mom. They just switch roles.
Okay, so but it's still the same thing. Basically, it's like, all right, coming from a single parent is the difference. Is what I'm saying. 9 times out of 10, when the mom is the single parent raising the children, the mom try to overcompensate for the kid. The mom almost feels like she's afraid of the kid, not physically afraid, but afraid to hurt the child's feelings. So she tried to become the best friend. She tried to become the mother, the father, the whatever it takes to make that kid feel like she or he not missing anything.
I definitely agree. Every situation is different because, like,
Yes,
situation's
every
always gonna be
situation is
different.
different, but it's
the best friend part I didn't experience. Like, my mom tried to be my mom and dad because you was away and all that. But like trying to be a best friend, I don't think she ever tried that. I think she tried to guide me like in the best direction she thought was best for a man. But as far as being a best friend, I don't see that.
well, the thing is, you saying exactly what I'm saying. You just put in the extra word. You're taking it to the next level with the best friend. She's trying to do more than what her role is. Her role is to be your mother, to be that caring part, to show you the affection that the father normally telling you a man can't cry, a man is tough, a man have to hold down whatever. But now your mom is trying to do that. And what happens, I was raised like that. So what happens when a boy is raised by his mom that's trying to be a dad is you kind of pick up issues where as though at a young age, your mom always running to your aid. She always trying to protect you or whatever case it be. Now that other kids around your age like, oh, he was a mama's boy. Your mom always got to come help you or whatever. So now you kind of try to stand out on your own and be more tougher than what you really have to be because you don't want to be seen as a mama's boy. You understand what I'm saying? It's always some kind of issue when there's one parent raising because the dad, if he's raising a kid, he don't have the emotional side. Now he's the one that's trying to put all the toughness into you, whereas though you got to bottle up all these emotions, whereas though you don't even know how to express yourself no more because your dad said you can't be weak.
Not to point fingers, but Naeem, you're a mama's boy. How you feel about that?
Personally, like, going off of what you just said, I feel like I'm the actual opposite. So, like, you wasn't here. So, like you said, in that case, most of the time it's the dad who say, like, you can't show emotion or whatever. But, like, with me personally, like, it was just me and my mom. So, like, it wasn't nobody else. So, it's like, I feel like I had to put on my big boy pants and hop in that man role. So, I couldn't show emotion because it was just me and my mom. So, my mom showed emotion. So, it's like, I couldn't because I had to hold down. I had to hold down the fort.
So what was your mom teaching you? How did your mom raise you?
And her standpoint, I feel like she was the dad more than she was the mom.
But she didn't just drop her mom role.
But I mean, all right. So going back to like what Marie said, basically, kind of both of y'all said it, like the financial part, whatever. Y'all said that normally the dad has to go out. You said this earlier. You said the dad has to go out, work, yada yada, whatever. Come home. It's the fun part, whatever. So me and my mom, she was that part. It wasn't really much emotional support because she wasn't there. So in that case of having one parent, they had to pick what they had to do. Either the emotional support or they had to pick the financial thing. My mom chose the financial support to make sure I was cool. So the emotional wise, I kind of had to handle myself. So like that whole pinned up part for the father role, it was different because my mom was the father.
You said emotionally you dealt with it by yourself?
I pinned up everything. Like how he said with the father role, going back to that. He said as a man, normally the father is a role. Normally when your dad is there, they show you how to pin up your emotions because they want you to be the man. In my situation, my mom was the father. She had that father role more than she had the emotional support role. So me personally, I'm going to throw it out there. I have struggles throwing out emotion-wise, communicating emotionally. I mean, we all know that, being honest. But they like is stops the way around.
Yeah, it's really not funny because you have emotional issues too. Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
You just act out.
Let's just stick
You
to the,
act out.
Let's stick to the
No, let's bring it out. Go
stick-
all the way in.
Listen, I'm transparent. I'm at a point in my life that there's nothing hitting. Everything is out on the table. And I don't have daddy issues.
You don't have daddy issues?
No. And I can tell you why.
Go ahead.
Because the same way he's saying all right, so let's be honest. The same way you said when you was growing up, I don't like when y'all say it was just me and my mom because your dad didn't die. He was just in jail. Like I still had shut up. He didn't die. He was in jail. And the whole time that dad was in jail, from the time that he went, I still felt connected to that. I still felt like I was growing a bond and actually getting to know my dad even more when he was in jail because he wasn't running the street. Now, to be honest, I think I had more of a way to bond with him when he was stuck in that cell, sit down instead of running around each street and turning each corner and seeing all these girls and stuff like that. So I got closer to him when he was in jail.
What's your relationship got to do with me and his?
Because the same opportunity that I had to build with dad, you had the same opportunity.
But what he about to say the same thing I'm getting at. Hold on. Because unlike us, like we're younger. Like you gotta think, we like the youngest three. We didn't have no time with dad. By the time we actually was out here and old enough to talk and all that, he was already in jail. You had time to actually bond with your dad. We didn't. We had nobody in father figure. You was 11. How old was we? Okay then. So did we have any time to bond with him?
Okay, well, let's
this-
stop this because y'all are confusing bonding with daddy issues. Me and my dad are like this, but I have daddy issues.
Get him, Brianna.
You have daddy issues because your mom is your dad now.
No,
what's
see.
coming off of you is, all right, take your dad out. Take your dad out.
First
Take
of
your
all,
dad out.
first of all,
Take your
I
dad
can
out.
tell you why I have daddy issues
You
if
have
you
mommy
listen.
issues. You have mommy issues.
I have those too.
All right, so it's the same thing.
I have
Daddy/mommy issues. Your dad was your mom, and your mom is your dad, and now it's the same situation.
no. See, this is the problem. Y'all think
You
that
have to be on course. If you are talking to the mic, then let her talking to the mic.
y'all think that just not having a dad in your life is gonna be the reason why you have daddy issues. Some people with their dad in their life have more daddy issues than you can ever imagine. I remember one time my stepmom, I had in my household, it was my stepmom and my dad. My stepmom came to me and was like, she never grew up with her dad. If this was what it was like to be raised by a father, I'm glad I didn't have one. So y'all looking at it as,
Confusing the hell out of me.
y'all looking at it as you had it the worst way because your dad wasn't in your life. But some people have the worst way with their dad in their life. You can't. It doesn't. Oh, I have daddy issues because he was far away. Y'all are talking about a bond. Y'all not talking about issues. You can have a bond with your dad and still have daddy issues because it came when you were younger. You have stuff that developed when you were younger that you still carry into the way you live your life now.
Facts.
If you were raised by your dad and your mom, there would probably be a lot of habits in your life that you wouldn't be going as hard on. But I'm not gonna air your business or your business or your business or my business. But there's flaws that come from.
You might as well tell me more. I didn't want to know more. I want to know more.
I like
know
what
you-
Brianna is saying, and I think that's part of the topic that we don't discuss. How you can still have daddy issues, although there's a dad in the house. When you think about daddy issues, you do think about the missing dad, the dad that's not there. So now, because you never had a dad in your life, you have all these issues. But I 100% agree with Brianna. With even though you have a male figure in the home, you can still have daddy issues. Go ahead.
Daddy issues don't come from the absence. It comes from the things that happen inside the house. It comes from how your dad was raised, how he treats you. Your dad could have been beating on your mom. Your dad could have been alcoholic. Your dad could have been molesting you. Your dad could have been any. There's so many ways you can have daddy issues that we don't even know. We need to really get into this more because people really don't even understand what daddy issues is.
And that's why I said that I don't feel like I have any because I don't remember any childhood memories with you. So like, as of now, I feel like I'm growing a bond with you now. And now that we both grown men, I don't feel like it's any issue that I need you to appear on. So that's why I say I feel like I don't have any because I don't know what it feel like to have you in the crib to go through any issues. You feel what I'm saying? That's why I said I feel like I don't have any.
Okay, and your situation is kind of different because you went into the service at a young age. So your issues could have been, okay, in the service, they say they raised you to be a man. You know, they put responsibility on you. They teach you what it's about to be secure within yourself. A lot of people that really have a lot of daddy issues is because they have very low self-esteem because it was taken from them from a young age because of whatever reason it may be. And the child may even blame the dad for those reasons because he wasn't there to protect them at a time of need. There's a lot of different reasons. That's the whole reason of us really having this podcast to sit there and talk to figure out. Because I don't have all the answers. And I really wanted to do this today because I don't feel as close as y'all as I should be. And I need to feel that. It's like time is wasting. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be on this earth, but I don't have a relationship that I want with my children. And I know that all y'all battle with each other. And I kind of take that as my fault too, because there's so many different baby moms. So this right here was for us to come together and understand one another. And I know it's because it's on air and I put y'all on the spot that it's hard to sit here and give me y'all personal opinions. And
Can we be
but
fair
it's a
for
start.
second?
Go ahead, I'm listening.
To be honest, including myself, I don't think that. Well, if there's from this point on down this, if there's any daddy issues, right? I don't think that no one's going to actually point out their own issues in depth the way that you could. If you could,
You speaking for yourself?
No, I'm speaking for you too. Listen, hold on. If if you could summarize each person's
I
daddy
understand
issues,
how.
what would it be?
I can't do that. I
Why?
can't really do that because I really don't have enough personal time with my sons. I hear y'all battle amongst you. I get something from you, from me and you talking, and then I'll get something from them, from me and them talking about you, or about you talking about what it is with them. I don't get the whole honest truth from each person when I have a one-on-one talk with them. I can give you my daddy issues. You know what my daddy issues was? I came up with my mother and my father, right? I didn't have confidence in myself. I was a little kid, skinny, dark skin, nappy head, the whole 9 yards. At my time coming up, everybody, all the females like big, light skin, green eye, curly hair guys. My dad, I was an athlete. My dad didn't come to a lot of my games. I knew he loved me, but I wanted him to be present. So because he didn't come to my games, I went to him. I went to find out what he was doing in life. He was down North Philly doing his 1-2. My cousin, that's only a couple of months older than me, was right there with my dad doing everything he wanted. I felt some kind of way about that. Like, how come he get to be with you like that and I didn't and I can't? You protected me by moving me up Mount Airy, but you have my cousins doing everything around you, feeling like they're your son. So that made me start selling drugs. So my dad could like me, take me in, and I could be a part of his life. I lived that life with him until the day he died. So I gave up everything that I believed in because I love sports. I love challenging people. I love pushing myself. I gave up all that so I could just get the approval of my dad. I didn't ever even get that chance because he passed away before I got that approval from him. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that created a lot of low self-esteem within me, whereas though my disguise was the streets now because the streets gave me power. It made people look at me from a money standpoint than who I really was. Go ahead.
I feel like, okay, well, with me, I don't want to say I'm the best or anything, but I feel like I am fully aware of myself, of things around me. And I can, no, listen, I can, that's not where I'm taking it. I can point out things when I know that they are wrong. I don't look at things like bias. So, but the problem with this and this like panel and the cameras, each of you guys are looking at it like a self-help. Like you started like, which one of us got the most daddy issues or what do you think our daddy issues are? But that's not the point of this. It's like to enlighten other people and let them know like it exists. But if you want to go there, I can point them out for y'all. Just because I'm around you guys.
I do.
I mean, I feel like honestly, like, no, be honest with you, like going back to what like Brianna said earlier though, she did kind of point out something. She did kind of point out something earlier when she said that everybody's situation is different. Like when she said her dad and her mom was in the house, and Sharice also pointed out that a lot of people with their dad in their life also daddy issues. I was saying from my point of view though, I feel like we each was, because Maurice pointed out, we all have different situations. So like even with everybody in general, everybody got different daddy issues.
And
But like
feel
I
we
understand,
all
I
wear
do
it on our
appreciate what you
sleeve.
said though, because you're saying in general, what is daddy issues? And that's the topic of what is daddy issues at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, it's hard for anybody to describe what daddy issues is because everybody's situation is different.
I mean,
So like with me, honestly, like my situation is kind of like yours a little bit. I know my dad loves sports. So I got into sports heavy because I know he loved it. So like for me, not having a dad or father figure around or whatever, that's what I looked at. I knew how my dad was talked about and stuff like that. So I tried to be like that. It didn't make me happy or whatever, but it's what I thought was approval. So that's my part of daddy issues. But everybody different.
go ahead.
If it is daddy issues considered like growing up without your dad?
No.
Because honestly, I feel like y'all are trying to put a feeling on somebody's body. Because like I don't have any issues with you at all, and like I don't have no issues like growing up with. I don't have no issues like at all. Like my bond with you today is like I love you right now today with no issues at all. Just because I grew up without you, like I'm not putting that on your body. I don't hold no issues at all. But just because I grew up without you, does that consider that I'm having daddy issues? Like
No, not every single person have daddy issues. Your daddy issues could be whatever, if you have.
and that's why I asked you, like, can you have daddy issues if you had a father figure growing up? Because like my mom, like I have a younger sister. Like my mom moved on. Like after, like I have I have somebody I looked up to while you were away. Like I have somebody I call my step pop, and like I love him to death. Like no disrespect, like I love him like a
It's
lot,
no
like,
problem. And I applaud him for stepping up.
and like so I'm just asking like is it like what's the definition
But
of a
that's
daddy
still
issue?
in
Can I
the
just-
that's still in the frame of issues with your dad. We're like
I don't have any issues though with
that.
him.
That's where you're, and it can be like that where you're saying daddy issues are issues with your dad. But when somebody says daddy issues, they're saying the trauma that you went through as a child that caused you to be who you are that came from your dad. So you can have issues that you built up over time. Like, for example, say in high school you got bullied your whole life and now the way you act is but these are the traumas that your dad gave you. So the absence or him being there doesn't really matter. It's the way you looked at him growing up and how that built you to be who you are now is how I
I don't
look
think
at
Karen
it.
has big daddy issues.
I feel like, are you ready? I feel like commitment is I'm trying to word this. And yours is not as bad as many other
Wait,
people's,
wait.
but I feel like commitment and the way you
She killed
treat
that, bro.
women
Give it to
comes
her.
from the way you
Give it to her.
from daddy issues.
How though?
I don't want to go in
No,
depth
I'm
into that.
I'm asking like
I
no
don't
for
want to go in
real.
depth into that.
Do you have a problem with commitment?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like it's not because like
what I say, wear it
it's
on
not
your sleeve.
I wouldn't say commitment issue. It would be like a tolerance level. Like I know when to like I have a walk. I will walk away fast. Is that I don't have.
That's not normal.
That's the issue.
She killed
But-
that.
So where did that come from?
I don't know. like it come from him. How?
Can I get
If I
some
never
tea?
even met like how like
If you never met what?
like if I never spent the day with you
No,
like
you did. You just
I was-
don't remember it.
how?
You definitely spent days with us.
I'm saying
And you
that-
definitely your
Me.
mom definitely could have put that in your head, like what your dad out there doing, what made us break up. It could be a
No,
lot. I don't know. I wasn't there.
No, I'm saying it's not
that
that.
could be.
Like
But-
I don't remember any childhood memories.
And you
with
may not remember
with
it,
no
but it
pictures
could
or
be there
nothing.
subliminally. Yeah.
I think. Let me see this.
I'm telling
I
you.
think what Dad trying to say is like even without him being physically there, physically present. I know when I grew up, I'm not saying that my mom put anything negative in my head, but just how she moved with men. Period, just was like really dismissive. So that's when she said that. I was about to say you didn't have daddy issues, but how you move with girls and your commitment issues, that's Dad, bro.
But-
that's that. Let me tell you, you have so many brothers and sisters and stuff like that that you don't even look at. You look like somebody getting your nerves. You're dismissing. That's not really normal.
Go ahead. Say what you was gonna say.
You'll completely forget about them. Not even jokingly forget
No,
about you.
but that's not true though. Like I never walked away from somebody and completely never forgot about them. That I don't.
that situation that
I grew up with I didn't know my dad. I was a result of an affair. So I knew who my dad was, but I wasn't allowed to speak on that because he was a married man. Moving forward until I was 12 years old was the first time that I actually like legitimately talked to him. But by that time I had a stepfather. So did they do anything wrong where I could say I had daddy issues because they didn't take care of me, they neglected me? No, I don't have those type of daddy issues. But issues stemming from my dad are I'll never depend on a man to solely take care of me because I never know when he's gonna walk away. That came from my dad because I knew who he was, but I couldn't depend on him. He came in my life, did a little bit here and there, and then left again. So that made me reluctant to depend on a man. He's not a bad person for that. That's not a bad thing. I look at it as that's a life lesson. Always stand on your own, always be able to take care of yourself. I had a stepdad. It was great in the beginning, having someone there consistently that I could call dad. But then I had a younger sibling come along. And when that younger sibling came along, then I didn't get as much attention. So that could be a form of an issue. But does that make him like a bad person? Is that daddy issues so bad that now my issues with men are horrible? No. So I think it's different levels. to daddy issues, but I don't think that if you have daddy issues, it's because the dad was so wrong and he did things that were so bad. And I think sometimes we get caught up in the daddy issues being completely negative.
But that goes back into saying like everybody's situation is different. And you see somebody's situation that's super traumatic and you be like, oh no, that's not me. But deep down, it could be little seeds or little stems that you never knew was there.
No, that's the whole point. Okay, let's get to the bottom of this. Daddy issues comes in 1,000 forms, right? And the only way that we can actually cure our daddy issues is by having conversations. Like they could be mommy issues, daddy issues, or whatever. But to get to know your child, to get to know your parent, is the only way that we're going to ever be able to evolve into the next person, to a greater person. Because long as you have something on your heart, your mind, or whatever the case may be, you'll never get to grow. And these are the reasons why we want to have these conversations, because those conversations need to be had. You need to get stuff off your chest in order to be able to move forward. And that's the only reason I want to have these kind of conversations. I love my kids to death, every last one of them. I don't have the mind that I want with my kids, and that hurts me because I feel as though I am the blame for the way things have turned out with me and my children. What that mean?
I'm not going to sit here and say I never had daddy issues, but I could say today I feel like I don't. To be honest, I feel like wait.
Why y'all making a lot of noise inside the mic when y'all move your hand on the mic because it's so sensitive. It picks up every little thing.
Okay, stay still. Listen, I do feel like I had daddy issues, but because I was older than them, coming up, I feel like you said, with Chit on that, I feel like I had to fill your shoes. Me and Rob, when we was coming up, we had a dad with respect from like the drug game and money and stuff like that. So we actually was fighting. I feel like we was having a battle on who was gonna be the next you, basically, bro. So made me do stuff that I wasn't even interested in. Like I'm talking about stupid stuff, even to like chopping soap up and thinking that we selling drugs and trying to be something that we really wasn't. I'm dead serious. Gunplay, I used to get into a lot of stuff, but I think that helped me actually learn myself. And then once I started becoming myself, it made me respect myself more. So I think my daddy issues are gone now.
No, it comes to
I'm
a point.
mature. Yeah.
It comes to a point where you mature and you see that things is wrong and you need to straighten them out. But that doesn't happen instantly, is what I'm saying to you. Do you feel as though you're a great dad right now?
No, because I'm you. You gonna be real?
I feel like it's a difference between sweeping stuff under the rug and actually clearing the air.
You say you're not a
don't
good
have-
dad.
You say you don't have no daddy issues no more because you just forgot about them, or because they got fixed.
No. You know how when you're growing up and you're being somebody that you're not, and you're basically not even being a follower. It was all I knew my whole life. So once I got past that part, I was myself.
See, but
I learned myself, and I just
that's
started
an
loving myself.
approval part of daddy issues, which
I didn't no longer care. Like, all right, so I'm not
you
putting
no
my personal-
longer have the approval
Listen,
issues.
Listen. We all know I'm not gonna put it out there, but speaking of me, once I was put into a position where I loved myself and I didn't care anymore of putting on a facade, I didn't care no more. It was just, yeah.
So I feel like you can say something, but you can feel something different.
I'm not brushing nothing under the rug though. That's what you're saying.
You can't press him to say what he don't want to say.
I know, but I'm just saying, denial is crazy.
I'm not in denial. No
It's
more.
not in the river.
Is Naeem all right down there? It's just like you in deep thought, bro. When somebody start pick with their beard in another world, they in deep thought.
I'm
Share
hungry.
your thoughts.
I'm not gonna
I
lie,
got a
I'm a little
question.
hungry.
I'm
You're
cooking
a little
after
hungry?
this.
All right, we
I
all
was
go to
looking at the
Maurice's
bag of
house.
chips over there
Not
in the
enough for all of
machine.
us.
All right, so here the bottom line is daddy issues.
Exists.
We really, really, really need to come down to it, because I think as a whole we need to understand who we are, where we came from, and how we could build with one another. Because separation in the world amongst us is the biggest problem we have. So we really need to learn how to become one, help each other get through their little issues or whatever the case may be. Because a simple incident, just taking your manhood or taking your self-esteem, can go a very long way. Someone without self-esteem ends up to be nothing. They always a follower. They always trying to pretend to be something that they're not.
I feel like you should do another segment with the rest of our siblings because right here, Maurice is like older, but me and I, like we say, like we don't really have like memories like to really speak on daddy issues as if like
But that
our
makes it
older
better.
siblings, like they can actually relate on like growing up with a father than seeing their father go away than having to grow up without a father, you see?
Yeah.
Stop speaking about Sakara. Sakara knew what Sakara issue is. Sakara didn't want none of you guys around.
No, Sakara. No.
She wanted
Sakara,
to be
I
the
love you
only
to death.
child.
I'm sorry. You know, I love you to death. She has the most daddy issues out of all of them. I don't care if you pick his daddy issues, and my issues together. It's
Then
not going
capitalize
to compare to Shakira.
Well, she's coming home soon, so
Yeah,
we
you
can
need
hear
to put her
hers
right on
out.
this camera. And this is part one. You need to do a part two, and the other one that I'm not even going to.
But back to what you were saying,
And
I
the
feel
Johnson
like, I feel
family
like it
issues
makes
are coming to an end right now.
I feel like it makes
can
it
have a
better
part two.
because you have the absence, you had your dad there, and then I had the switch role, so
Brianna
you
sound
can
like
see
she
it
wanna run this
from
contest, right?
you can see it from multiple point of views.
And on
I
that
don't even need to
note,
be on the next one.
we're going to say
What's
good
time to eat?
night. Subscribe.
Like, subscribe, comment, and share.